Hi everyone, I'm Mrs. Lambert and I'm back with a family math investigation for you today. Have you ever wondered what the most common letter in the English language is? Well, guess what? Today you get to find out. We're going to be working with alphabetical probability. So in order to determine which letter is the most frequent, you're going to need some paper and a pen or a pencil to keep track of your recording. And you're going to need some books. For younger kids, whatever book they're reading, for older kids can use some chapter books, whatever is at a good reading level for them. Okay, so before you start, gather your family together and ask them to predict what letter do you think is the most common. Maybe what are the top 5? And just have a discussion about what letters you picked and why that is. Why did they choose the letter that they chose? What are some super common words that we use often? What letters are they made up of? Okay, and so once you've made your guesses, have each person in your family find 3 sentences in their book. They can be sentences right next to each other or from different parts of the book. It doesn't matter. And of course, the length of the sentence will be determined by the age of your child, right? Whatever is a good fit for them. And so with those 3 sentences, you are going to tally how many times that letter or the different letters occurred. So I picked this book here, and the 3 sentences on this page say, jungles are tropical rainforests. The story of the Jungle Book is set in the Indian jungle. Can you find these animals in the Indian jungle? So those are the 3 sentences that I tallied today. So I went through, and as I read those sentences, every time I saw a letter, I would just put a tally next to that letter. You see I've written out the alphabet here. And so every member of the family is going to do that for their 3 sentences. And then you're going to come together and you're going to add up those letters. So you're going to ask everyone, how many tallies did they get for A, and add them all up. How many tallies did you get for B, and add them all up, so that you have one combined chart for all your letters. Okay, and this is a good time to talk with your children about gathering data and why are you having everyone do it and enjoying that data together? Why is it not good enough to just have one person do it with 1 sentence? Why is that not a big enough sample, right? You can talk about sample size with your child. So once you've done that, and you've got your big chart of all the letters, put them in the right order. What is the most frequent letter that you came up with, right? So in mine here, mine's only based on those 3 sentences, but I can already see that certain letters are more common than others, right? So in my chart, I think E is the most common, right? And then I would look at which one would come next. In my case, it's the letter N, right? So that's what I would write next. And I'd order them from the most common to the least common, okay? Once you have your list with your family, go on the internet and search for a frequency of the letters in the English language, and look at the list or the order that you can find online. Compare the order that you got as a family. Do they match? Are they similar? Are they exactly the same? Is the first letter and the last letter the same? What about the letters in between? Are certain ones flip-flopped? Why is that? And again, this is when you can talk about sample size and why your specific chart might be different than the one in general. Is there maybe a letter that's in a completely different spot than what you find online? Why is that, right? So for example, my book is all about the jungle. So the word jungle comes up a lot, right? So especially letters like J, right? Normally, that's not a really common letter. So in general, that might be lower on the frequency list. However, because I picked this book, it's going to come up very frequently for me, and that might skew my data, right? So you can talk about outliers and skewing data, and why, when you're doing statistics, you need to take that into account and try and get rid of outliers and things like that. So this is just a fun exploration. If your children like this idea, you can take it even further and maybe pull out the game Scrabble or Boggle and ask them, how do those games use frequency of letters? What can they find it in the game? Is it the number of tiles that they provide you with? Is it in the point system that they've devised? How does the frequency of letters play into the game? Another way to explore the frequency of letters and the letter probability is show your child some cryptograms, right? Those are mind teasers where they mix up the letters, but so a different letter stands for something else. And try and solve those with your child. How does letter frequency help you in determining the right code? What are the most common words in the English language, right? And one final way that you can explore this is if you're bilingual. Do you speak another language at home? Does your other language have the same letter frequency as English, or is it different? Explore that. Why or why not? So I hope you enjoy this investigation. It's something a little bit different, looking at books and sentences and letters, but there's so much math to be found there as well. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you next time.